right, Miles, we got to talk about the Baltimore Ravens coming off yet another preseason win. It seems like there's only 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the Ravens winning preseason games. It just seems to nonstop. I think they're at a record, 22 now? Yeah, 22.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but there's one player in particular that has just turned everybody's heads, who's had an amazing preseason, and it looks like he's going to be an absolute stud for the Ravens this year and potentially for years to come. And I know you've got some specifics there, but before we get into that, Ravens fans, we talk about breakout players that you see in training camp and preseason. What player in Ravens history did you see maybe at a mini camp, preseason game, training camp practice that you saw him and you're like, this guy's a star, this guy's a stud? Let us know in the comment section below a guy that you saw early who turned out to be a big time player for the Baltimore Ravens. But Miles, what's the latest out of Baltimore?
Yeah, Nick. Over the weekend, there's a lot of stuff that happened. Obviously, the big HBO show that premiered, The House of the Targaryen, #1 trending topic on Twitter.
House of the Dragon, dude. House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon, it's all the same. But House of the Dragon. You know why I didn't know? Because just behind that, guess what was trending? Ravens 4th round pick, Isaiah Likely. One of the most explosive players throughout this preseason. He put up an 8-catch, 100-yard, 1-touchdown performance. He was absolutely out of this world. He did that in 15 snaps. It's probably like one of the most efficient performances I've seen in a long, long time. And it seems like he has no intention of stopping. He's getting better and better each preseason game, and he's truly looking like the steal of the draft in the 4th round. If you can get a superstar tight end to pair with Mark Andrews, they're going to give everybody fits. I'm calling it now. This is going to be like the next Hernandez-Gronkowski pairing, dual tight ends that, not Hernandez in that way that you're thinking about, but you know what I'm saying, on the field performances.
I mean, I've seen The Wire. I know Baltimore, so
they're going to kill people on the field, okay?
Okay.
But, he really, really, and we've known that he's going to be a player for a long time here, but he really has hit the field in preseason early and exceeded all of my expectations on what he could possibly do. Don't you think?
Yeah, Isaiah Likely, we followed him in training camp and mini camp, and he was making some moves, making some headway. But we got to back up even further, because during the pre-draft process, there was a lot of analytics and thought going on. Well, what players are going to be sleepers? What players are going to be studs? And there's one group of guys that you and I were big fans of. They did a really good analysis. These are really sharp guys. And I think we got a clip of them talking about Isaiah Likely. I think they were trying to mock Isaiah Likely to the Dolphins in the 3rd round. So the Dolphins screwed up, as they tend to do. But let's pull up that clip right here about this analysis of Isaiah Likely. 2 really sharp guys coming up.
He's tough. He's competitive. He became a better receiver as he went on his career. He's a good athlete. He's versatile. He can put his hand in the ground. He can line up, offset the ball in like an H-back role, can line up in a slot receiver, like a kind of Y receiver position. I really like him for the Miami Dolphins, either as a complementary to a guy like Gesicki if they bring him back, or just in his own role. Isaiah Likely, I'm just going to make a big leap here. I think he's a steal here in the 3rd round. Don't be surprised in a year or two if Likely becomes a star in the NFL. I think this guy is that good.
Yeah, so those are obviously 2 very good-looking guys right there, but they were on to a really good point with Likely. And look, obviously we give ourselves a pat on the back for picking Likely as a potential stud, but you could kind of see it coming, him coming out of Coastal Carolina, right? He was very productive, was a stud. He got overlooked because he didn't have the right body type and all that kind of stuff. And those are the players that seem to come out and really surprise people and make big leaps. We see it almost every year. I mean, there was like a Creed Humphrey with Kansas City last year who was, fell into late in the 2nd round because people didn't think he had the right height for a center, didn't have the right mobility, and ends up being a superstar right out the gate. This happens all the time, and smart teams like the Ravens find these guys and they turn them into star players, and it looks like Isaiah Likely is the next guy in the long line of Ravens to follow that path.
Yeah, no, and Baltimore's done this for a number of years. They found guys, but I think the thing that they have been on a kick here lately is they're drafting undervalued positions. They're focusing on interior offensive linemen. They're focusing on safeties. They're focusing on tight ends and trying to get the most value out of positions that people don't really value. And here's a great example I give you. Fullback, something that nobody really values that much. Who's a recent Ravens fullback that is taking the NFL by storm? None other than Kyle Juszczyk. one of the best fullbacks in the NFL, best weapons in the NFL right now for the 49ers. Baltimore saw him early. He's an absolute weapon. So they're trying to get these guys at undervalued positions and get them for a bargain and use them to the best of their ability. And they've really been excelling at doing this, in the tight end position. Who needs good receivers when you have great tight ends? Interior offensive linemen, you can get bargains on those guys in the later rounds. They're always going to fall to you early. If the best DB potentially in the draft, Kyle Hamilton, falls to you early on, you got to take him because he's a really great player and people just undervalue the safety position. So I like what Baltimore's doing, and I like to see that it's paying off once again for them. All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.